another week of Kingdom Builders Business University behind the scenes. That's right. We are here to talk about business, all things business, with yours truly, KB Michelle Green, also known as Michelle Green. Hey, if this is your first time watching, I just want to stop right here and thank you for being a watcher, for being a viewer. We want to welcome you into the room. Come on in the room and get ready to enjoy and gather some tips around being an entrepreneur and what it's like behind the scenes. So today we are going to talk about, are you ready for the stage? Are you ready for the spotlight? Are you ready for the fame? And we want to talk about all things business because we talk about things that most people kind of don't really think about. Or if they're thinking about it, they don't really talk about it with other entrepreneurs. But what we do here at Kingdom Builders Business University, as a business school, we talk about all things business. So what we want to do first is just introduce you to our services, the things that we offer here at KBBU. If this is your first time watching, or if you watched us every single time we've gone live, we used to be on at 9:30 p.m. and now we moved to 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, still on Wednesday. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you can always receive our notifications of when we're going live. And also, we want to tell you about who we are. What do we do? We are a business school. And as a business school, what we do is we help entrepreneurs to do business the right way, exponentially empowering the elite entrepreneur for excellence. When we say elite entrepreneur, we're not just talking about any old entrepreneur. We're talking about an entrepreneur that stands out, an entrepreneur that's different, an entrepreneur that sees life in a whole different way than your average ordinary entrepreneur. We are talking about a person who really has a drive, who has a dream, who has something that is different from everybody else, something that is going to allow you to stand out among the crowd with your business products or your services. And what do we do here at Kingdom Builders Business University? We offer that's right, three certifications. In the three different certifications that we offer, the first one is what's called the associate certification. This is kind of like your beginner stage level. And with the associate certification, you are able to go through a 6-month course with yours truly, where I teach you all about how to set up your business, how to secure your business, how to manage your money, your credit, your business credit, and your funding for grants and different types of loans or scholarships offers that you might receive. In addition to that, we teach you how to manage your business, how to set up your automations, your artificial intelligence, how to manage, making sure you got the right systems in place for payroll and HR, for bookkeeping and handling all of your business stuff, legally. Then we go into business, marketing, media, and sales, where we talk about how to get you in front of the stage, which is part of what we are going to talk about today. So make sure that you are locked in every single week, because we want to make sure that you are listening, hearing, that you are watching and understanding how it is to be an entrepreneur behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes. All right. So that's just our first course. It's the associate certification. Our second course is the bachelor certification. So it is a more in-depth school. It's a more in-depth course that allows you to go deeper into the subject matters that I just explained. And then we have our VIP master certification that takes you to a whole nother level of understanding, a whole different curriculum that is designed specifically for you to scale your business, for you to be able to take your business from a 6-figure income to a 7-figure income. That's what we do here at Kingdom Builders Business University. So 3 different courses that we have for you to obtain and you to be certified in, and you being certified as a business owner. Let me explain to you what that means exactly. What that means is that when you get your certification at KBBU, you have a legitimate certification that you can take to any business and obtain any type of loan, any type of vendor or supplier services, the people that supply your organization, well, guess what? You have the opportunity to present your certification to them, and they would provide you an additional type of service or product, and they may even give you more money for you being certified. Because what this means is you specifically decided to take the time out to go to school to learn about how business is actually supposed to be done the right way. And with yours truly having over 30 plus years of experience and being led by God, I don't know how you could go wrong. Okay. I'm not bragging or tooting my own horn, but what I'm telling you is that all the students that have come through Kingdom Builders Business University have all said that they did not know the things that they knew once they finished and graduated and got their certifications. They learned so much information that they had no clue about had they not gone to KBBU. So I want you to understand that we are different. We are elite, that we are a whole different situation. Okay, we are a whole different situation over here at Kingdom Builders Business University, and we want you guys to make sure that you get in on one of the certifications, one of our programs, so that you can take your business from wherever it is right now all the way to where your dreams and hopes are. Okay, we want to make that a reality. All right, so that's my little spiel, and let's give a shout out to CTR Media Network that allows us to stream on their platform, seen by 3.6 billion viewers all over the world in over 175 countries. Just a shout out to Dr. Tina J. Ramsey and Curtis Ramsey. We want to thank you guys for allowing us to be on your platform, and we are so excited to be here. Listen, listen. If you are trying to be seen, if you are trying to get your business out there to be heard, if you're trying to get your podcast together, if you're trying to get a TV show together, even if you're trying to do like your commercials or whatever you're trying to do, you need to go over to www.CTR Media Network and they can help you with those types of things. Listen, we have connected with them for over 3 years now, and I'm telling you, it has tremendously allowed our businesses to really be seen and heard throughout the earth. And when I say throughout the earth, I'm talking about people that I would have never connected with, people who I would have never collaborated with, that allows me to be able to connect and collaborate, to network with businesses, other people all over the earth that are allowing us to really be able to be seen and heard everywhere. So if you are trying to get your business out there, you need to go over to CTR Media Network and get on their platform so that you can be seen and heard as well. All right, now that is the end of my spiel. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. Now, today's topic, we are talking about, are you ready for the stage? Are you ready for the spotlight? Are you ready for the fame and the fortune that comes when you consistently, as a business owner, do your thing? Are you ready for that opportunity to be able to be seen and heard everywhere? Well, one of the things that I want to start out with is I was just laying in bed this morning and I was thinking about, what should I talk about today? But I began to think about, there are so many of us that have this idea in our minds about fame and fortune, having the spotlight, being able to be on stage. And we have a mindset about this opportunity to get to this level that sometimes is not very realistic. Now, this is KBBU behind the scenes, so we're going to talk to you straight. We're going to give it to you for real, and talk to you about how things actually are versus how you might be imagining in your mind how they are. And as I was thinking, I remembered as I was coming along, and especially when I first was in finances, my original business venture was as a financial strategist, educator, advisor. And in that field, I remember thinking, wow, it's so amazing to watch people who have already gone to the place where I want to go. It's so incredible to see someone that you admire or someone that you respect, and that you see them up on the stage. You see the spotlight shining on them. You see that they get on camera and they just flow with things, and you're looking from the background. You're looking from behind the scenes, right? And you're looking at their lifestyle, and you're seeing a lifestyle that is something that seems totally incredible, and sometimes maybe be far-fetched from what you think that you are able to do. I remember sitting in the back of meetings. I remember sitting in the back of trainings. I remember sitting in the back of an event and thinking to myself, like, one day I want to be on that stage. One day I want to be able to have that spotlight, that light shining on me. And what would I do if that opportunity ever came? But when we think about that opportunity in our minds versus the reality of that opportunity, it is a totally different world. Let me just say to you, I have been, like I said, in business for a very long time. I have been in business. I have seen the stages. I've been on the stages. I've had some spotlights. I've had some fame and fortune, and still continuously to grow. But the thing that I want us to understand about it all is this. We got to understand that there is always a behind the scenes situation. There is a behind the scenes in everything we do in life. It's sort of like how when you go to school and you're graduating from grade to grade and then going off to college, and you thought that this opportunity to graduate to the next level, to become a senior, to become the head of your class, to receive that promotion, or to be able to get into that particular job, is sort of like how that happens, where you have this image or this idea that things are going to just explode and everything's going to be perfect. Everything is going to fall in alignment, and it's just going to be so awesome for you. And like, you don't have to do anything else after that. But then you come to the reality to understand that, wait a minute, I still got to do some work. Okay. I still have so many other things that I have to do to achieve the things that I thought that I would, once I achieve it, that I wouldn't have to do anything else. Well, that is a similar mindset, that if you are really ready for the spotlight, if you're really ready for the fame and the stage and the fortune that comes with you doing your business the right way, and then after you have done your business consistently for a length of time, you are going to see success if you just stay the course. Now, once you stay the course, what you want to understand is that getting to that spotlight, getting to that fame, getting to that fortune, that stage, you are usually going to experience something that is totally opposite from what your mind thought it was going to be. Okay. I can tell you personally that when I got on that first stage, when I got the opportunity to have the first time of a spotlight place at a event, when I was able to see the fame and the fortune, it never looked like exactly how I thought it would be. So I want you to just go ahead and understand and accept that, yes, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have the stage. It's a beautiful thing for you to be able to have the spotlight. It's a beautiful thing for you to have the fame and the fortune. However, is it really going to be how you expect it? So if it is a situation where you get to the opportunity and you're on that stage and that spotlight is shining on you, and you begin to realize, like, there's a lot of light that is shining on me right now. And I have the stage, I have the floor to be able to say and do anything that I have been dreaming about doing and saying. And here is my opportunity to really go in where I fit in. This is my opportunity for me to show the world who I am and what it is that I have to offer. And so what happens is, I want you to ask yourself, are you really ready for that? Are you ready to share your story? Are you ready to say the things that you've been rehearsing in your head forever? Are you ready to actually receive all of those lights shining down on just you and everything else outside of you is in the dark? Are you understanding that when you receive that position, when you receive that stage and that opportunity for you to speak, sometimes it's going to be a lot different than what you thought it would be? Have you ever had the experience of being able to be on stage and freezing? Freezing up without knowing what it is that you need to say, forgetting all of the things that you've rehearsed, and then not even having the opportunity to have anything to read, like a prompt for you to read through, and just not knowing what to do in that moment. See, I want you to think about how ready are you? When you think about how ready are you, how many times have you actually practiced the things that you want to share to the world? How many times have you actually pretended like a kid, like you had a microphone in your hands and that you are actually going to say those things among all of your family members, your friends, and your peers, as well as the people who you might have worked with and gone to school with, and that are your neighbors? Have you thought about how you would present yourself in front of all of these types of people that have been a part of your life's journey? Have you thought about your kids, your parents? Have you thought about your spouse and how everything is going to come out? How is it going to sound to them? Have you pretended before as a kid or as a young adult or as a teenager? Have you thought about even now how you want to be heard? See, I want you to really begin to dive deeper into not just wanting the stage, not just wanting the spotlight or the fame, but I want you to think about the things that go on behind the scenes. These are not things that we have to rehearse over and over again just for the sake of having something perfect to say. Well, we got to understand that when we have the opportunity to go on stage, when we have the opportunity to be spotlighted, and when we have the opportunity for fame or fortune to invade our lives, and even though it's a beautiful thing, it could be a horrible thing. It could be a horrible thing that happens to us because we're not ready. We could be the type of person that receives a lot of money. We can be the type of person who wins the lottery. We could be the type of person who, somebody just lays a seed in our hand that we have never ever received before in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if that were to be our scenario, how would we act? What are the steps that we would take in order for us to show our gratitude, to show our honor? How would we present honor to our family members, our friends, the people that have been a part of our businesses? How would we distribute the fame and fortune? How would we decide that we are going to show ourselves properly when we are on stage, when we have that spotlight? So I really want you to dive deeper into that. One of the things that I practice along the journey is to practice being able to do things on the spur of the moment. The spur of the moment is where we decide that, yes, there is a particular subject matter that we are talking about. There is a particular thing that we need to offer, but are we able to say it? Are we able to offer it? Are we able to present ourselves in several different ways? See, when things happen on the spur of the moment, you always have to be ready. So, one of the things I used to do as I was building up my journey as a business owner, and I still do this sometimes today, is I practice what I would say in different scenarios at the spur of the moment. The spur of the moment is not a practice, it's not something that you're really going to say all the time in the same exact way. It's something where you got a topic, but you are able to speak on that topic in several different ways. It's kind of like recording yourself over and over again to do the presentation, but every time you play that recording, you actually realize that you're saying something a little different each time. You're not saying it in the exact script that you wrote down, but you are saying it in a different way. So, one of the things I want us to understand is we got to learn how to communicate, and we have to learn how to communicate getting prepared for a spontaneous moment. See, we never know when the opportunity is going to hit us, that we're going to have that stage, we're going to have that spotlight, we're going to have the fame come into our lives all of a sudden. We don't know when that's going to take place. So, what do we have to do? We have to prepare for spontaneous moments, what I call spontaneous conversations. One of the things that we talked about in our VIP Masters class, spontaneous conversations or spontaneous communications, is the fact that we will be able to still represent ourselves well, even though the stage is there, even though we weren't necessarily prepared, but we knew all along because we had practiced this moment or this opportunity that would come to us, that if we didn't have a script to read, if we didn't have a prompt that was going up and down on the screen, if we didn't have someone telling us what we needed to discuss, that we still would have something in our hearts that would be in our subconscious mind that we could actually share with the world, with the stage that we were presented. We would have the opportunity to still be spotlighted with a spontaneous moment in our lives and still have that fame and fortune without us going downhill trying to figure out what it is that we're going to say. So I want us to think about with the spotlight. If you are ready, it means that you have the opportunity to be spontaneous. You have the opportunity to be able to say something and do something on that stage, in that spotlight, with the opportunity to receive the fame and the fortune whenever it is presented to you. Whenever you have that opportunity, take it. Don't back down. Don't shy down. Don't look at what you see around you. Go for the goal. Go for the thing that you have been dreaming about, but do it through spontaneous conversations. Do it through a spontaneous moment where you have been really thinking about over and over again what it is that you want to share with the world. You have to practice the spontaneous moments. You have to practice how it is that you sound, what it is that you are trying to communicate. You have to practice, in addition to that, you have to be ready for what it is that you are going to look like. You have to be ready for what it is that you want to represent. You have to know what your core foundation is. And let's talk about that just for a second. See, one of the things that helps me to get on this camera every single week and come before you and talk about different topics in business is that I practice every day what I'm preaching. I try my best to make sure that I am implementing what I am teaching you every day. I'm not just getting on stage to help you to do something or to help you as a business owner to overcome something. I am actually living out the day-to-day journey. I'm living out this day-to-day journey as a business owner myself. And in the experiences that I have, in the knowledge and understanding, in the type of communication, in the way that I want to present myself as a professional to you who is watching me, possibly for the first time or for the 100th time, it doesn't matter. The point is that I want to have the image and the ability for you to relate to me in a certain way. And if that is not at the forefront of my mind, then guess what? I could come to you any kind of way. And by me coming to you, possibly not being groomed well, possibly not being able to communicate clearly, possibly not being able to present myself in what I represent as a foundation, with God being the foundation of my life, if I'm not represented properly, then when I come before that stage, when I get on that spotlight, when that light is shining on me, when I am presented with fame and fortune, then I could mess up my whole entire life. So I want you to understand that as behind the scenes of an entrepreneur, you have to take in consideration a lot of different things that you may not have thought about that would be necessary for you to begin implementing, even though you haven't reached that stage, even though that spotlight might not be shining on you right now, and even though that fame or that fortune hasn't hit your life at this very moment. I want you to understand that it's coming. And if you begin to practice your communication, how you look, how do you want to look? How do you want to be able to be seen? And how do you want to be able to be heard? You have to be that person before you get to the stage. You have to become that person even if nobody is watching. You have to be the person that you want to become before you become that person. Before everybody in the world sees you, before the family members recognize you, before the friendships acknowledge that you're not just running a small business, a little business, as they always like to say. We have to become the people that we want to be represented as. So I ask you, are you really truly ready? Have you just been dreaming about having that stage? Have you just been dreaming about that spotlight, that fame and fortune, and haven't actually made it your lifestyle? I want you to stop today and I want you to really begin to drive home the opportunity for you to be who you want to become. And let me just say that as it relates to being behind the scenes of having the fame, behind the scenes of having the fortune or the stage or the spotlight, usually it's going to be a whole different setup than what you imagine. Can you imagine that even though everything looks all groovy right here on this camera, that listen, if you were able to see what goes on behind the scenes, if you could see the lighting and how it's set up, if you could see the cameras and how they're positioned, if you could see the things that are not in this actual scene that you are looking at, then you will realize that things are not exactly as they appear. And that is really crucial for you to understand that as you are desiring to go on stage, as you desire to be spotlighted, and as you desire for that fame and fortune as a business owner, you better understand and get very comfortable with things appearing to be one way, but it's a totally different way. And you have to be able to understand that you have to get comfortable with spontaneous opportunities. You have to be ready to jump on stage, to be able to go into that spotlight and be able to have in your mind, like that you know whatever it is that you are getting ready to represent yourself as well as being able to allow the world to see you how you want them to see you, not the way that you've been practicing as a perfect way to come out and be seen and heard before the world. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, do not despise a small opportunity, because the small opportunities will lead you to a large opportunity. a huge, humongous opportunity. It will lead you into the fame and the fortune that you have always dreamed about. So today, I want you to really begin to get ready for the fame, the fortune, for the spotlight, for the stage, because it's coming. All you got to do is stay consistent and do what it is that you need to do when the spontaneous opportunity hits your life. Okay? All right, that's all that I have for today. I hope that this was something that you can walk away from and really begin to dive in and begin to take notes on how you are living your life in relation to who it is that you want to become. If you want to be on that stage, if you want the spotlight, if you want the fame and the fortune or the opportunity just to excel and take your business to the next level, then you got to be prepared for all of the smaller opportunities that are presenting itself right now in your life to get to that big picture. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Listen, we are so excited that you are here. We thank you so much for not just being here, but just the opportunity to share this with another entrepreneur and even for your own entire life. Listen, we are KB Michelle Green with behind the scenes of a elite entrepreneur. And until next time, guys, we just want to thank you for being here and we want you to take care. All right.